A courtroom bombshell left Diddy visibly shaken. His attorney had no way to prepare for the footage that would change everything. Room fell silent. The judge barely had time to process the prosecution's words. Before Diddy's face drained of color, his legal team scrambled, whispering in hushed tones. But there was no stopping it now. The moment the prosecution announced they had video evidence featuring a teenage Justin Bieber, the energy in the room shifted.
We're going to get started with something that Diddy and his lawyers knew was coming down the pike eventually, and now it has happened. A new indictment, it's called a superseding indictment. It really replaces the original one that the federal prosecutors have filed against him. And the big headline here is that now they are saying there are 2 more victims.
This wasn't just another lawsuit, another allegation. This was something different. And for the first time, the man who built an empire, confidence, power, and untouchability looked genuinely afraid.
Diddy Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on sex trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest, late January 30th, to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that night.
But let's back up for a second, because to understand why this moment was so devastating, you have to understand the web of chaos that led to it. Diddy Combs, once the king of hip-hop, is now fighting for his legacy, his freedom, and possibly his entire empire. Multiple lawsuits, federal charges.
Meantime, let's talk about the fact that Combs' co-defendant in a civil case, a case, by the way, that accuses him and his co-defendant, another A-lister, of rape. This guy is once again slamming the attorney behind the case, insisting that he be sanctioned for allegedly not doing his job. We're talking, of course, about Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, once again calling out attorney Tony Busby, calling out his character, more specifically in question, claiming that the Texas attorney's filings have, quote, substantial inaccuracies, and that there was a failure to properly investigate before filing. Now, we've talked about this before, but basically, a civil lawsuit was filed against Sean Combs on behalf of Jane Doe, who says that she was raped by Combs and another celebrity at a home at the Video Music Awards in 2000. She said she was just 13 years old when this happened. And weeks after the initial filing, Busby submitted an amended complaint naming Jay-Z as the celebrity who allegedly participated in this assault.
Whispers of a lifestyle so dark, so predatory, that even his closest allies are distancing themselves at record speed. And right in the middle of it all, Justin Bieber.
Anyways, I want to also just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Edie Magazine. They do great work on their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just 15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
Wow! I feel violated right now. Wow.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like, that was fun. Wow, look at your eyes.
For years, people speculated about Diddy's strange influence over the young pop star, but after Diddy's arrest in September, fans started putting the pieces together. Why was Bieber always around him as a kid? Why did Diddy speak about their time together like it was some kind of secret rite of passage? Then came the resurfaced footage. A clip from 2009 suddenly started making rounds online. In it, Diddy is seen boasting about spending 48 hours with 15-year-old Bieber. What we're doing, we can't really disclose. Diddy brags, grinning at the camera, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Bieber sitting beside him plays along. Let's just go get some girls.
Justin Bieber turned 15, and it suddenly seemed that Hollywood was keen to almost initiate him. I think that's the right word. Like, there was almost like this initiation that he needed to go through. So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Justin, he's in, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the time of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed the Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when know, he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship for him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full crazy.
At the time, it seemed like nothing more than an odd exchange between a powerful music mogul and his young protege. But after the allegations against Diddy exploded, that clip started looking a whole lot more sinister.
So young Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with Scooter Braun, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood. And as we are going through these lawsuits and Diddy is in prison, we're recognizing that everybody knew. This was an open secret about what Diddy was doing. So it just begs the question, who allowed Justin Bieber to be in the presence of this man, knowing what he was up to, allegedly up to? That seems to be very clear, that there is some veracity to those claims.
And then the unthinkable happened inside the courtroom. An attorney for the prosecution produced a video, a piece of evidence so significant that Diddy's legal team immediately objected, but it was too late. The judge allowed it.
Now, the defense wanted copies of these videos handed over to them, not just the ability to view them at like the prosecution's office. They wanted copies of these videos for themselves. And I've talked to lawyers about this before. There's a big advantage to having the electronic video, the electronic evidence yourself. Like, you don't have to always go over to the other office. You can view the materials on your own. It's a way to better prepare for your defense. And Sean Combs' lawyers argue that under the federal rules of criminal procedure, if the defendant asks for it, the government has to give a defendant the opportunity to inspect and to copy electronic data that is in the government's possession. Judge Subramanian denied the defense's motion to amend the protective order, but without prejudice, meaning this issue could be revisited. So Subramanian's order reads, quote, while the government objects to handing the videos over, they provide several options for a defendant to consider that would permit the defense to view the videos, access the information they're looking for, and even allow them to manipulate the videos as they see fit.
For years, Bieber has dodged questions about his early career, his mentors, and the industry figures that shaped him. But ever since Diddy's legal troubles began, Bieber has been making quiet moves that suggest he's distancing himself from his past.
And Bieber's got more on his mind than Diddy's arrest. A source telling ET the new dad's energy is going towards wife Haley and son Jack. And he's not focused on what is going on with Diddy or the allegations against him.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs.
The insider info coming after footage of Diddy and Justin resurfaced on social media. Videos show the disgraced media mogul alongside teenage Justin, with online sleuths speculating if, at the time, he subjected the pop star to his alleged freak-off.
First, he unfollowed Usher, a small thing maybe, but given that Usher was the one who introduced him to Diddy, it raised eyebrows. Then he cut ties with Scooter Braun, his longtime manager, and the man who was supposed to protect him in the industry.
Okay. Justin was signed when he was just 13 years old, and I should mention he was signed by Usher to a label that was owned jointly by both Scooter Braun and Usher, and he was considered Usher's protege. He has been described Usher as his mentor. Justin Bieber, is continuing the purge. He has now moved to unfollow Usher, okay, his original mentor. So this is a very big story, and the reason why we should discuss this and we should not diminish what is happening, it's not celebrity drama. This is actually the fall of Babylon that we are witnessing, Hollywood Babylon, that is.
On Saturday, January 4th, fans noticed that Justin and controversial manager Scooter Braun stopped following each other. It was then confirmed that Justin blocked Scooter because Justin's name was removed from any tagged photos, and Scooter's likes on Justin's photos were gone along with the tags. Mind you, Scooter had just liked Justin's photo a week before this. Justin wasn't the only one who blocked Scooter. Haley wanted in on the fun too, and fans noticed she also blocked Scooter.
He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Take a listen.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on me in a second. So, yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me, but at the end of the day, I don't want her. I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters, and
I'm not even kidding. Watching that clip makes me emotional because he is saying so much without really saying anything. Protect Billie Eilish from what? From who? What is he so concerned about when he sees this young person in the industry? What exactly did he go through?
Well, disgraced movie mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been slammed with another lawsuit. An unnamed person has accused the music mogul of drugging and assaulting him. As per a lawsuit which was filed in New York, the incident allegedly took place in 2015. Prosecutors and a lawyer representing the alleged victims in the case have been behind a substantial number of suits brought against Combs over the past year, including one that named Jay-Z as an additional defendant. The new lawsuit says that in 2015, the unnamed male person had approached Combs with the aspirations of becoming a rapper and singer. The 23-year-old was scheduled to open for a popular music artist at a series of Los Angeles nightclubs. Prior to this performance, he was informed that Combs would be in attendance, and should the performance go well, Combs would consider signing him to Bad Boy Records. The lawsuit further stated that later that night he attended an after party where there were other well-known entertainers who were taking in drugs. One of Combs' associates handed him a drink which he later realized was drugged. The unnamed person has further claimed that during his unconscious state, Diddy Combs had engaged in unconsented sexual activities. Meanwhile, in a statement provided to media, Combs' attorneys say, and I'm quoting here, "As we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to claims that are facially ridiculous."
According to the complaint, Jane Doe says that, again, when she was 13 years old in 2000, when her and a friend drove to Radio City Music Hall in New York City, where the Video Music Awards, the VMAs, were being held, she says she didn't have a ticket. So what does she do? She mills about outside. And that's when she says that one of Sean Combs' limo drivers told her to come back later and he would take her to an after party. She claims that she was given a drink at this after party, which she now believes was drugged. She claims she started feeling woozy, went to find somewhere to lay down, and that is when she says she was by Jay-Z and Sean Combs.
Morning, new details allegedly inside Diddy's world before his shocking arrest. The entertainment mogul now behind bars for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
It was a circus. He did whatever he wanted. And we were just at his disposal.
Phil Pines was Diddy's senior executive assistant from 2019 to 2021. He says his then boss asked him to purchase supplies for parties dubbed Wild King Nights.
We usually had a laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, Molly. Those requests started to become more frequent.
Pines claims many of these parties involved younger women.
A lot of times you have him with a younger female. There's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
The new interview, part of Investigation Discovery's docuseries, The Fall of Diddy.
My job is to shield his private life from the public.
Pines even sharing audio he says is of Diddy telling Pines to bring him various substances during those Wild King nights.
Phil, I need some Cialis. Can you give me 20 Xanax, please? Hey, Phil, I need a plan B.
I remember hearing the words, "Prove your loyalty to me, King." He grabbed me by the shoulders, pushed me to a girl that was on the couch.
We don't need to do a ton of research to see how long 50 Cent has criticized Diddy and how much he continues to bash him. Most recently, he joked about the bad boy mogul starting his own baby oil line on Instagram and briefly addressed his long-standing issues with Combs in another IG post. Meanwhile, this comes amid news that a Texas law firm will reportedly represent over 50 other alleged sexual assault victims of Diddy and his colleagues. This is a group of brave individuals that include both men and women. Their statement partially read, "Many were minors when the abuse occurred. Some of these brave individuals reported the incidents to the police. Others did not." Each individual story is gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. And if you want to stay on top of the latest developments, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the truth is coming and you won't want to miss it. And thanks for watching this video, guys.